Yo, we're back on the Banana Sandwich SMP, and I am dressed up again. I am Emilio from League of Legends. I am in his base skin, and I got his Flamigo on my back. He's very, very cute. He is the best boy and my favorite, and I thought I would just be him for Halloween, so here it is. Today is going to be a little bit different, though, because I did a tour of the Aurora faction, and we had a little issue where I didn't change settings after we updated to 1.21.9. So I ended up not getting any audio from Kat, who was giving us the tour. So we're gonna have to do it with flashback mod and just my memory, which is not the best. And a big shout out to Kat on the line for giving us the tour. It took about an hour, and then I lost all the audio, and it's really really a shame because it was a lot of fun. When you first get to Aurora, you go through this big portal attached to this big ass tree. I think there's a big ass tree too. But yeah, you go through the big portal and you go to this big tree, and it looks really, really nice. It doesn't really get justice done with this. If you see it in if you see it in person, it's a lot better. But it still looks really good here too. And then we got a little wagon over here and a little wizard tower that were also very, very cool. Then inside the tree, there's also a map room. So they got a very big map of the area on the front, and then on the sides they have a couple extra maps, and they have a beacon going through the middle that will show up. There we go. And yeah, it's really, really cool. Always a good map room. And then we also had a little incident where I was free camming to look at stuff, and a creeper walked up, and there was a little bit of a delayed response. Very, very delayed response, I guess. Then a little bit over further, there is a very cool Elytra course. I didn't really have a chance to check it out completely, but it looked really cool. They haven't really advertised it very much, but it is definitely something worth checking out. There is a lot of rings to go through that I don't think I even get them all in the clip, but they do look very, very good. It could be pretty difficult, but it has arrows showing kind of the order that you're supposed to go in. And there's also like some farms along the way that are just for decoration, I think. And maybe they'll even add in more. I'm not really sure. Then next to that, we got another wizard tower that is very, very cool. And this one over here is the storage, as well as Cat's little personal room, I guess. So we'll take a little look at that now. So inside Kat's hideout, we found a button, and it wasn't placed by her, so we didn't really know if it was safe to push. So there was a lot of wondering, and then finally she just decided to push it, and it was nothing. It was just a button. It did nothing. It was just for looks. Moving on back to the tour, this is Big Tree 1, I believe. If not, it is Big Tree 2, and the other one was Big Tree 1. Not really sure. I don't remember completely. I think we did them in reverse order. So, anyways, this one has a nightclub in it where they throw events, and it's really cool. You're supposed to leave your armor outside in your ender chest, but we didn't because we weren't really in an event or anything. But as you go inside, they got tables, they got little places for dancers up top and in the little bottles and stuff. They got poles to dance on, they got drinks, they got a place for a DJ up top, and it's really cool. A lot of fun. They have all sorts of drinks back there that you can choose from and stuff like that. And it's just a really good time. I think that they have events every week, maybe. Or maybe it's every month. I don't know. I think it's every week because I don't think they've been around for more than a month. But that's also because of my bad memory. So who knows? Maybe we should just move on to the next part. So next up, we have this really cool library. I believe this was Filinara's build. There's a lot of it is by the same person because they are the founder. Yeah, I really like this one. The blue roof, for some reason, I just really like. And then the crying obsidian in the hats really, really give it a nice little touch. And the ore in the blue roofs, it just, I don't know. I really like the roof a lot. Moving to the inside, there's a bunch of places to put books. It's a library, obviously. So if you write a book and wanted to place it in the library, you have lots of slots to do so. And then even if you go over to the side over here, there is a little place to sit down and write your books, which is very, very cool. And then they got all sorts of like paintings and decorations around it, and like I really like the clock, the like grandfather clock right there. And then they got a fireplace where you can just sit down and chill out and write some more books. Upstairs we have one of the mini meeting rooms of Aurora, and it's super cool. I really like this area. Also a lot more books and spots to put extra books. They also have a working piano, so you can't really hear it in this, but you do get sound from the piano, and it turns on and off. I mean, you could play it yourself. It's definitely not a music box or anything like that. And then they got like an enchanting table and another place to write stuff. And then they even have a place to speak to the people of the tables, like a little announcer spot up top if you need to do any announcements while people are having their little meetings below. And it's just all a really, really cool area. While we were trying to leave, we did have a little incident where there was a few early trick-or-treaters, and it was very scary. Maybe not having weapons was a bad idea on my side, but it all took care of itself, or Cat took care of it for me. Next up, we have the wedding area with a giant angel statue, which is super cool. And then we have also some statues of some deer spitting water into the fountains, which is, again, really, really, really cool, for lack of better words right now. But I really like this area. It's for them to do wedding ceremonies and stuff. They had one already, which is, I mean, it's very surprising how quick it was, but the whole area looks amazing. It's got the seats outside for all of the visitors, or the guests, I guess. And then inside there's a nice little area for the person doing the wedding, and all the like nice little plants and stuff like that. And yeah, it just I really like the idea of it being in a tree too. I mean, there's why else, or where else would you want to do a wedding besides in a big ass tree? And then if you go back outside, there is hold on, I got distracted for a little bit, I think. And yeah, anyways, there is some spots underneath the angel that have like, you can have a book with all the parties' names in it, and then the heads of the two people that got married and stuff. And yeah, they got room for 7 more of them. So if I know how to do math, I think, yeah, 7 more of them. And after that, maybe they'll have to make another spot for an angel somewhere else where they can add more. But this, I think, is officially Big Ass 3. Next up, we have a very secret area. At the time it was secret. There is a Halloween event going on, or a few of them, and I really, really liked this build. It is really nice use of the candle on top that makes it kind of like drip over the skull, and then the colors inside. And then there's a haunted house to the side that I don't want to show too much of. And there's also a maze that I didn't want to show any of. And then there's this giant statue, which is very, very cool. I think it really, really adds to the spirit of Halloween, just like having a very spooky angel, dark angel, just looking over all the stuff going on. And then if you go inside of it, there's also, what do you know, another meeting area. So very, very cool. I like it a lot. But now we get to move on to the floating islands side of things. So this is a very, very cool part of it. I really liked the moth on the lamp. If you can't tell, I kind of focused on that a little bit in a past video and right now. But these are all the floating islands. They are combined effort by a lot of Aurora. There is some didn't really have time because it was very, very quick. You can see the little floating dirt one right there. It's very, very cool. But yeah, these are the floating islands that were a part of the last video that I did on the competition. And I think this one came in second, and then there is a bunch of other runner-ups, but yeah, I think it all looks very, very nice, and I thought I would show it off one more time just because I didn't have flashback at the time, so I didn't get any like smooth recordings of everything that was going on. But I think that's about gonna wrap it up. So if you'd like to go worship a moth, you should definitely join Aurora and ask them about their moth worship, because they definitely have that. And if they tell you they don't, they're lying. I think that's gonna do it. So go check out Cat on the Line on YouTube and TikTok and all those things, and then like, comment, and subscribe here, and maybe I'll learn how to speak next time. Bye.